I will say this. I have loved two things about Jalen Hurts this offseason and in this training camp. I think he goes to the middle of the field more. I don't think it's a deterrent going to A.J. Brown as much as he has or Devonta Smith.
No, it's not. You're right.
Because those are the guys you're going to. Like, Patrick Mahomes goes to Travis Kelce every day for a reason.
That's right. That's right.
So why would you want to shun Jalen Hurts for that? And I think his deep ball's been better. I think he's getting more confident in it. I've noticed it's not forced as much now. He's kind of laid back. He's kind of relaxed. And
welcome back, everybody. We are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. 3 hours of power are delivered each and every day, noon Eastern to 3. Derek Gunn, Barrett Brooks, Rob Ellis. We are joined. Love talking to Jeff, man. Joined by our next guest, Jeff Kerr. Does an excellent job. He's a big-time contributor to JAKIB Sports, and we may be hearing more from Jeff soon, but does an excellent job wherever he is, and he catches work as well for CBS Sports. Also, you can follow him on Twitter at Jeff Kerr CBS. Jeff, what's going on, my man? How you making out?
hey, what's going on, Rob? Just another day. Phillies won 2 in a row. Finally got 10,000 wins. I'm a little disappointed, though. I saw the 10,000th loss. I wanted to see the 10,000th win and get that on my resume.
I was going to say, we don't need to mention how many losses they have. They're now at 10,000 wins. The losses are like a few more, I would just say. That's for sure, Jeff. So, Jeff, let's start with this, man. The Eagles cut a couple. They did the IR wave kind of deal with Lenore, Maiden, Moreland, Dunkel, Fayed. Any surprises there? I know everybody at home's like, who? Is there any surprises there to any of those names?
I mean, maybe Jimmy Moreland, but I haven't heard that much out of him in camp. Like, I didn't even notice he was on the field half the time with a lot of these guys. And Lenore was the one I was intrigued with because he came from the UCL, and A.J. Brown really liked him. And I thought he might have had a chance to stick around a little bit, but that was really it.
Yeah, you know,
big surprises.
You kind of saw the writing on the wall, you know, especially how deep that wide receiver meeting room is, you know. But as they go forward into this week, you know, and how they're going to divvy up the reps, how much are you going to see? Do you think you're going to see of the rookie quarterback, Carson Strong?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Barrett. I think he's going to play a lot more than what he did last week. And I think it's going to be more him than Reed Stinnett. And, you know, when I'm saying in the press box Friday night, I'm thinking to myself, okay, what's wrong with this guy? Like, I know he had problems in training camp and he wasn't good. And that's all I hear. He wasn't good, and I saw it for myself, and I'm like, okay, maybe he's not ready, but I actually think he plays a lot more this week with the joint practice.
Hey, Jeff, were you a little bit surprised the day after when Nick Sirianni said, you know, he was asked about Carson Strong? He says, no, it was just a decision not to play him. I mean, what did you think? That you said not ready, but do they think he's not an NFL quarterback? Do they think, you know, should we even put him out here? What did you think when Sirianni said that?
My backdoor philosophy is they don't want any team to get a good look at him and then claim him as a third. So maybe they sneak him on the practice squad and they can develop him. Maybe he's still battling that knee injury. He's one of those guys, like, you paid a lot of money to in undrafted free agency. Same with Reed Blankenship. You don't want that much film on these guys. But unfortunately, Cleveland and Miami's going to see it. Although I don't think Miami's going to do anything now that they got Skylar Thompson there. He had a
right.
Game, so.
Kansas State, baby.
Yeah, Kansas State.
There you go. Wildcats.
Yeah, but overall, I'm thinking to myself, okay, maybe they'll give him some game tape the second and third game. It seems like, though, with less preseason games, we're getting more backups than ever before.
Yeah, no question about that. Jeff, let me ask you. Miles Sanders is now dealing with a hamstring and missed yesterday. He's missed 9 games the last 2 years. And this is, you know, one of my big concerns with him is missed time and the lack of development in other areas other than running the ball. Where do you stand with Sanders? What do you expect this year? Is he an Eagle long-term? How do you think this plays out, and how serious is this injury?
Oh, being a Penn State grad, I've always been high on Miles Sanders. So I'm a little biased here with Miles Sanders. But overall, the stats don't lie. He's a top 3 running back in yards per carry, minimum of 300 carries, behind only Nick Chubb and I'm trying to remember the other. Dalvin Cook, I think, is the other. I think he's above Derrick Henry. I know that, but he's top 4 in yards per touch. I mean, the guy's a playmaker. He makes plays for your offense. But you're right, Rob. He has to get on the football field. He has to play more than 12 games in the season. The Eagles are relying on him. They're not deep at running back. They can put anybody back there and gain yards, but Miles Sanders is the guy. He's the guy that's going to balance this offense out. He's the guy that can get the 70-yard touchdown run for you. He's going to open so much for Devonta Smith and A.J. Brown. They need him on that football field.
Okay, so how do you think the Eagles perceive him? Looking at, I mean, he's a playmaker, yes, but he's also iffy. Every week he's iffy. Will he get past this? I mean, I you know, what I know of Howie Roseman is they're already starting to plan for 2023. Okay, so how do you think they perceive him? Because I don't think he's going to be a big money, negotiation. But what do you pay him? He has value, but that value has a cap on it because of his injury history.
Yeah, and here's the thing, Derek. With the running back class next year and basically with shelf life in the NFL, I don't think they pay Miles Sanders. I think they move on. If they see somebody in definitely not the first round, but maybe the second round. I mean, you can get good players in that. I think Buffalo got a steal in James Cook, and they got him.
Oh, man. Oh,
absolutely.
So you can find that type of player. I mean, we've seen great running backs come out of the first round. Barrett, what was Ricky Lars? Was he a second-round pick?
Yes, he was.
Yeah,
second-round pick, yep.
Again, you can find great running backs in later rounds and a heck of a lot cheaper. I love Miles Sanders, but I'm not sure if I want to give him $8-9 million a year, but you can find someone else that can equal that production.
Well, stay on that for a minute, Jeff, because, Gainwell hasn't really had a memorable camp thus far. Some drops yesterday. He's been banged up a little bit too. I think they thought he was going to take that next step. Not saying he still can't. You're a little thin there at this spot at running back, especially if Gainwell isn't really progressing the way you would hope. Would you agree, or do you think a move might be coming there to add?
I think you could see a move. There's definitely going to be running backs available after 53-man roster cuts. There always are. I know people are hoping Josh Jacobs gets cut. He's not getting cut from Vegas. That's not happening. But, maybe it's maybe one of those like second, third string guys could be available. That's really what you need. I think you just need a valuable backup here. And Kenny Gainwell can still be that, but you're right, Rob. He's not having a good camp. I don't think he's caught the ball as well as people have thought.
Which is his wheelhouse. That's his strength.
Yeah, he's a third down running back. And I've been trying to tell people that. He's a really good third down back. Don't make him any more than what he is. And he would be a nice compliment to Miles. I mean, honestly, Boston Scott's had a solid camp, too. I think it might just be Boston Scott as the number 2 back until Gainwell gets whatever problems he has fixed.
Right.
Well, then when you look at it, do you think Huntley just is out of the door? Even though he's the best kickoff returner we have, is he? Does he see his way out the door in this camp? There's no way he can make it. I
mean, unless Britton Covey or Jalen Reagor decides to out kick return him, which again, you got to have some value on special teams this year. Their special teams was atrocious last year, especially in the returning department. I mean, if Jason Huntley can return kicks, I think you got to create a roster spot for him. It's weird to think that in today's day and age, but you need somebody that can get you past the 25-yard line, and he can do that.
Absolutely, and which leads me to believe that Michael Clay, he might be on that chopping block also, because we're not used to that here, especially here in Philip. I mean, Dave Philip, he put the scholar, put these special teams at a different level. Now you look at it, it's so minuscule. It's pedestrian. I mean, it used to be something that we could use and count on to, maybe switch the field, flip the field for us. We don't even get that anymore.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know if this is a hot take at this point, but the way the Eagles special teams has been, but I don't think they've had a bad special teams coach in 30 years. So yeah, this is unprecedented.
Yeah, go back to Harbaugh, Jeff. I mean, think about how that run that they had with him.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. They're not good in the returning department. They're not good in kickoff coverage. I see guys that play in the NFL. I don't think they know where the wedge is half the time, and that's scary. I mean, this is how. Again, he's got the personnel this year. I like the what's the kid they got from Seattle.
Ugo Adami.
Yeah, Adami. That's it. He was a really good special teams player in Seattle. Andre Chachier is a good special teams player. You're going to have guys that can make tackles and make plays this year and kind of eliminate those.
Sean Bradley.
Yeah, Sean Bradley's another one. And
he'll probably be the captain of special teams.
Yeah. There's going to be a roster spot for him too. So you're going to have players there. It's on Michael Clay now. He's got to fix the return game, and if you got to keep Jason Huntley to do that, so be it. I'm just curious who's going to return punts.
I'm with you, man. And that's speaking. Let's stay on that for a second, Jeff. Covey didn't show you much in the preseason game, and I know he's got the fingers that are screwed up now. Is he? Where do you fall on this? Because we're getting kind of close here. You think he makes it or not? I mean, I want to see somebody who can be a threat back there. We've conditioned ourselves. I hope somebody could just catch it. Like that's kind of where we're at.
Right.
Like
that's horrible.
For Dirty Max boy. That's what he's for, right?
Yeah, for real.
Britton Covey. I remember first day at camp, it was like, "Gosh, he's Britton Covey guy." I'm like, "You mean the guy who returned the kick in the Rose Bowl? That guy?" I'm like, "Okay, is that like the only game you guys saw him play?" I mean, I didn't see anything that wowed me that much in training camp, and yeah, I mean, he was good, but maybe that's because the Eagles punt returners are so bad. So I don't know. Do we really want to put Jalen Reagor back there and try this again? I mean,
it feels like that's where it's headed, Jeff.
Yep.
Yeah, don't say it. Don't say it.
I'm telling you, Gunner. Gunner's in total denial that he makes the team. I think he 100%. Do you think he makes it?
If he makes it, it's because of his contract and the cap space. That's the only reason I think he makes it. If you can find a trade partner for him, I'm sure Howie would do it.
I agree. I agree with that. I don't. It just feels like he's going to be here. Maybe it's just.
Hey, they traded JJ. That's all I'm saying.
Yep, I agree. They found somebody the NFL found something for JJ Arcega-Whiteside and actually thinks he's unique and has value.
Yep.
That's incredible.
And I say that because don't laugh, because we couldn't wait for Mac Hollins to get out of town. He goes to Miami. He survives in Miami.
He's carved out a nice career. Yeah.
And so now I'm watching, and I'm watching Raiders play the other day, and they're talking about how, because every preseason game they have local announcers who watch the team closely, and the announcer said, Mac Hollins has become a special team standout. I'm thinking, really? When did that happen? And he's still in the league.
Well, he was that when he was here.
Yeah, he just couldn't catch.
He was okay.
Yeah.
He was okay as a special teams player because he was a younger player, still learning the game of the NFL. Okay, and the Eagles basically got tired of waiting on. He's with the Raiders.
Yeah, I call him Backpack Boy. Yeah, Backpack Boy. He's with Miami last year.
He's got some good hair, man. The dude does have good hair.
I wish I had his hair. No
I think we're all jealous of what.
Last time I was on here, weren't we talking about Mac Hollins and like where he was?
Yes.
I think it's you, Jeff. You bring out the Mac Hollins in us. Man.
Well, let me ask you this, Jeff.
Mac Hollins is a player in this league. I mean, he has value to somebody, and maybe JJ Arcega-Whiteside will, with Freddie Swain being banged up in Seattle and D. Eskridge not panning out. He's starting to become like a second-round bust in the way. So maybe JJ will find something there. I'll tell you what, the tight end experiment was an absolute joke. He looked like he didn't belong on that.
He even hinted, and he did it in a polite way. I wouldn't mind going back to receiver. He was obvious. It wasn't a fit.
Well, that's what they're going to
I think he said, "Get me out of here."
Yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, all right. So let's switch over to the offensive line now. You're talking about, are they going to be able to keep? They like to keep 9, 10 deep. Will they be able to? Especially with all the other needs that they like, the linebacker position, the wide receiver position, now the running back position. I mean, what's the likelihood? I was on the team where we only kept 8. Ooh. And when I was with the Steelers, we kept 8, and we used to bring a defensive lineman over for practice to play to play offensive line. So I've seen that happen before. The likelihood of us carrying 9 guys, I think it's kind of slim. 10 guys, I know we're not going to be able to.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. And I got to do a 53-man roster projection for CBS. And you're right. You got to give up something to get something, right? I mean, do you give up a Jack Anderson type player that for if you need another linebacker, if you need a running back? I mean, do they keep 5 running backs on this team? It's Miles Sanders, Boston Scott, Kenny Gainwell. Who's the fourth?
Huntley?
Jason Huntley. Okay,
yeah.
And then
now he is
Kennedy Brooks. I mean,
Kennedy Brooks. Yeah, I mean that's. I just this is gonna be hard.
I think Huntley is your kick returner. I think
it's fair, Gunner.
I will say this: on Friday night, I was just listening into a couple NFL guys and stuff I wasn't noticing in the press box in the fourth quarter. And they were saying Kenny Brooks was open on 5 straight plays and reached the net, just did not see him. And then I rewatched the game, and he was open on every single play. So if maybe you put him with a Jalen Hurts, maybe you get some value out of him. I don't know. I feel like it's stuff coaches see that we don't.
Well, the other thing, Covey was open a bunch of times with
he was.
Reed Sinnett did not shine. Let's be kind. My man had a tough night.
That whole talk he was better than Gardner Minshew. He was going to be number 2 job lasted a minute.
Yeah. All right. Let me pause it on a positive note. Dallas Goedert is having an unbelievable camp so far. Man, he's killing it.
Good. He's
Top 5.
What does it look like behind him after Stoll? Because it's a weird situation that they're in right now. You have Calcaterra hasn't played in forever. He's been banged up. Who everybody thought was going to make it. Tyree Jackson's still on the IL with the knee from last year. The kid Noah Tagaya is playing really.
I think that's how they say it.
Yeah, is playing really well. I know I'm getting deep in the weeds here, but
he makes it.
You think he makes it?
Oh yeah, he makes the team. I agree with
Okay.
that. I think there's a roster spot for him somewhere, and it might be Stoll. I mean, Richard Rodgers has been reliable for a lot of years too for this team. Every time they ask Richard Rodgers to go do something, he does it. So that's what's going to be tough. But I think Noah makes the team. I really do.
I think Noah makes it. Then you'll have Stoll, and then you have Goddard. Those will be the 3 tight ends going into the season. What's his name? Jackson's going to be on a POP list.
Yeah.
Calcaterra's going to be on a PUP list. And as they go forward, I mean, maybe, what's his name, Tioga, whatever his name is, he keeps things going. Maybe he just, ekes out a roster spot. But he's been very promising, especially in this last game in camp. He did it the same thing, the previous year. They scooped him up in Indianapolis. That's where he was before.
Right.
I just think that he's a baller. He's a player, man. He just didn't have an opportunity when you had, when you had Zach Ertz here.
I think Frank Reich was upset to lose him.
Yes, you're right.
I will say this though: if Tyree Jackson is ever healthy, I promise you he will become your number 2 tight end.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
If that's a big if though. With that knee situation, that's 2 years in a row now he's had these knee issues. That kid has unlimited potential. When you're talking about somebody 6'7" with a wingspan of a 747, and we saw limited samples of what he's capable of doing with those big hands, I think he has potential to have a solid career. But then again, we just haven't had the opportunities to see any extensive time from him because of the injury bug he's been going. But I love everything about his game. And it's a shame that we sit and wait and speculate because he has so much potential.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about number 2 tight end. Well, this wouldn't be a problem if he was healthy, right, Degon?
No question.
Yeah.
That's the guy you're waiting for.
Yeah. And you would feel like he and Stoll play off each other. Stoll more the blocker. Not saying he can't catch, but and Tyree would be the guy catching the ball.
Right.
Jeff, your impressions of Hurts. Apparently his best day yesterday by far, just totally sharp, deep balls, intermediate stuff, etc. We saw the great first drive when they were in and out against the Jets. What's your sense of where he's at right now?
Well, I don't judge quarterbacks off practice stats. I guarantee you that, right? As someone who practices bowling at a high level, I definitely do not on anything. But I will say this. I have loved 2 things about Jalen Hurts this offseason and in this training camp. I think he goes to the middle of the field more. I don't think it's a deterrent going to A.J. Brown as much as he has or Devonta Smith.
No, it's not. You're right.
Because those are the guys you're going to. Like Patrick Mahomes goes to Travis Kelce every day for a reason.
That's right.
So why would you want to shun Jalen Hurts for that? And I think his deep ball's been better. I think he's getting more confident in it. I've noticed it's not forced as much now. He's kind of laid back. He's kind of relaxed. And I think working with Quincy Avery, I think, his dad working with him again, doing more and with Shane Steichen, who Justin Herbert loved in the year he was with LA. So I think Shane Steichen being around, I think they're going to throw the ball a lot. I think they want to throw the ball a lot. I liked what I see now to Jalen Hurts. I'm not saying he's going to take this massive step in year 3, but I think he's going to be a lot better than he was last year.
I'm looking at. I'm also looking at Jalen Hurts in his fundamentals. He's a lot more confident in his fundamentals and how he's reading things. And when you're getting back as quick as he's getting back now, and he's throwing a lot more fundamentally better. That's why he's gaining more confidence. And when you buy the weapons, go out and spend $100 million on this weapon, then you're developing and spending $100 million, a nice little amount on your tight end. It gives them more confidence to really go out there and throw the ball, knowing that these guys will be there and catch it. I think he lacked a little confidence in who he had as far as weapons last year, as opposed to, what he has this year.
Yeah.
I mean, he has a potent number 1A wide receiving core now.
His number 2 wide receiver is now his number 4, essentially, in Quez Walker. That's a big difference. Like, Quez is a good 4. Like, I remember people were just ripping him to shreds after that playoff game. Like, okay, name to me 5 guys Jalen Hurts throws to.
Right.
That's all I wanted to defend him with. And I'm like, okay, yeah, you're not being the Tampa Bay Buccaneers doing that. I think with this core, you can at least score with them just because they have AJ. Oh, and by the way, Devonta Smith has looked really, really good in the practice.
It's coming back, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was going to tell him he's the number 1 or number 1A.
Yeah, exactly. They have a one-on-one. They have in my opinion, they have a better receiving core right now than the Dallas Cowboys, bar none.
I just think it's a great setup, too. And Devontae mentioned this, I think it was yesterday or maybe it was Monday. I don't know. He said, man, I'm learning so much from just watching A.J. Brown. It's not necessarily me picking his brain all the time, but I watch the way he goes about it. And that's what you love. The other thing you love about A.J. Brown is he goes hard every practice. So those young dudes are watching this saying, this guy's already gotten paid. He's established. And he goes like this. I better.
Not only that, man. he's getting paid and he's only 24 years old.
Yeah.
Right.
So he's very close to these guys. They're hungry.
AJ Brown's got a chip on his shoulder this year. I'm sure he's tired of hearing Titans media, Titans fans just rip him to shreds about how he left and the way he left. I'm like, well, your organization did not pay him. John Robinson decided, we're not paying you. You are not worth this. And I think AJ Brown wants to show, no, you know what? I was worth this, and now I'm going to do it for another team and make y'all's lives miserable.
Well, the other thing is, and you don't get crazy about lists, but we did this yesterday. NFL.com, he didn't make their top 100 as a player.
How?
I think all of that stuff, he is fuel.
Have you guys heard like stories about the top 100? Barrett Derek might have had, but I've heard from so many players, they just kind of fill out the ballot. They don't even care.
Yeah.
Well, you know what?
A lot of them like to vote their teammates.
Yep.
I personally, I used to have to go to different teams and have those guys fill it out. And it got to a point where they try to do it like in between stuff, you know, when guys are getting dressed and trying to go out on the field. That's when they send me in there. I was like, yo, guys, come on, man, hook your boy up. And I would get the offensive lineman to do it, but they start voting on the voting is bogus anyways. You know, don't vote on him because he's going to, you know, our guy here is better than him.
Yeah, or I don't like that guy. I had a beef with that guy at some point.
Mac Jones was in the top 100. Are you kidding me? I could argue Jalen Hurts is better than Mac Jones.
Easy.
Yeah,
Mac
listen,
Jones
I'm with
crazy.
you. I'm with you.
You know?
Yeah. There's going to be a lot of motivation. So, other things that have stood out to you since you've been down there, Jeff, good or bad? Give us some impressions.
Oh, man, see, that's tough because Carson Strong being bad was one of the ones where I feel like that was universally known, like he wasn't good. I've been impressed with Goddard. The offensive line's just stacked up. First team, second team. Cam Jurgens was one. You guys saw in the preseason game. That was everything we talked about going into that. It's not Jason Kelsey, but it's not a bad clone of him. Let's just put it that way.
Pretty damn close.
Yeah, and the kids
just a bigger, stronger, faster version of him.
Yeah, I got really upset over the whole, and I don't blame the guy who took it. The Jordan Davis, Cam Jurgens video. They're like, Jordan Davis just ran. I'm like, hold on a second. I saw Cam beat him a couple times one-on-one.
Right.
And I'm glad Jordan mentioned it. That guy's very mature for his age.
Jordan handled it great. Yeah. Yep.
And the Kobe Dean, from the first practice I went to the fourth, got so much better. And you could tell him and Jordan Davis are like, I don't even know what to compare them. I guess like a Hall of Notes kind of. They feed off each other. And
Hall of Notes.
Love it.
Yeah, they're a Hall of Notes. They just
Temple Zone, baby. Yes.
Pottstown Zone too, I think.
That's correct. One of them's from Darryl Hall's from Pottstown.
That's right.
Oates is from like oh God, where's he from? North Wales.
Yeah.
Too much information. I understand.
Right.
Yeah, Derek and Barrett are like, really, dude?
That's a problem. So, anyway, but yeah, they're almost like a Hall of Notes. It's like they just feel or they compliment and
they're man eaters. You know?
Yeah, exactly. They're man eaters.
Look at this. Look at this.
Me and
hungry tight.
There you go.
Whoa, here she comes. Watch out, boy.
Well, hey, Jeff,
you gotta bring back like a 70s, 80s song for these two.
Right.
I like it. Jeff, see, you bring out the silliness in us, man. That's just the way it goes.
Well, let me ask you, Jeff.
But by the way, James Bradbury was another one. You know what? He's been incredible this camp. I still don't know how the Giants let him go. I know it's just enough Giants fans that he's in Eagles colors now, but him and Darius Slay are going to be something. It's a shame that the secondary, we have no idea who's going to start outside of Marcus Epps, which if someone would have told me that 3 weeks ago, I would have said, oh, we might have a problem here. But
yeah,
Marcus Epps has been good. Anthony Harris is probably going to start by default, but who knows who's going to back these guys up?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, since we're on the defensive side, we're talking about that. How do you like Gannon and his approach this first preseason game?
He's got the talent, I'll say that. Last year, I defended him because he didn't have the talent, and everybody liked the rip because he was facing Ian Book and guys like that. I forget who the quarterback was in that Saints game. It's
Simeon. I think it was Trevor Simeon.
That's right,
Simeon.
Yeah. So obviously facing second, third string quarterbacks helped him out, but I like the multiple fronts he presents. The Eagles haven't been showing any 5-2, so we don't even know how they're going to line Hassan Reddick up there. And I just think they're going to blitz a lot more this year too. I don't think it's going to be just a natural 4-man rush. I think you're going to have more creative ways to use Hassan Reddick, ways to use the Kobe Dean, TJ Edwards. I think Devion Taylor's going to be in the mix somewhere, and I think with those cornerbacks, you're going to have they're going to have more time to make plays. I'm definitely expecting a lot more turnovers this year too.
Oh, no question. Yeah, and the reason you're not seeing a lot of 5-2 is because that's what they're going to be running on. On the first game.
Yeah, well, I don't blame them. I mean, why are you going to show that, right? But yeah, that's going to be, I think, other than Jalen Hurts, the most interesting thing is the attack mode that Gannon goes into, and what we're going to see in the multiple looks and everything else, and utilizing a lot. There's a lot of talent there, man. There's a lot of talent on that side of the ball. It's going to be fun.
If we don't see it, it will rain down like never before.
I agree with you. I agree.
They will unleash downs.
Yeah, he's one of those guys. The talent is right, or whether it's right or not, or they're ready to pounce on him.
Yeah,
it's a shame too because every interaction I've had with the guy, he's very media friendly.
He is.
Right.
He's one of us. He's just like, if you had him on right now, he'd just be talking to us about Hall and Oates or something like that. It's just the way he is.
But Jeff, you know how it is. We don't care how nice he is. We don't care if he's the most evil individual ever. With the names that they have on that defense now, we want to see the Hounds unleashed. That's all that people want to see. Unleash the Hounds. They want to see the equivalent of the 2000 Ravens defense, the 85 Bears defense. Unleash the Hounds.
No pressure there.
They did that though. I mean, they did
the 70s Steelers defense.
Oh my God,
they played closer as DBs. You saw the DBs; they played a lot closer to the
the line of scrimmage. You're right.
Yeah,
so,
I think because he has the personnel now, and I just hope this isn't like a Sean McDermott situation where this guy he doesn't figure it out in Philadelphia, goes somewhere else, and he becomes a head coach down the line because he becomes an elite defensive coordinator. I really hope it doesn't become a Sean McDermott type thing.
I don't think so. I think the city's going to, by the end of the season, they're going to love Sean. They're going to love Jonathan Gannon. That's just my opinion. I've been on the Gannon bandwagon here for a while, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Jeff, keep up the good work, man. We love the work you're doing here at JAKIB Media and CBS and all your other outlets that you do your stuff on, man. Hopefully we'll get a chance to talk to you soon, man. Appreciate you.
Absolutely. Thanks for the scenes earlier today, Rob.
No, yeah. Gotcha, Jeff. All right, man. Talk to you soon. Yeah, Jeff's a good dude, man. He
great
does
guy, man.
Excellent work. You know, man.
Whoa,
he knows a lot, man. Hey,
watch out, boy.
She'll chew
you up.
Gonna come out at night. Joey B. I got 3 games, Joey B. I got 3 games. Man.
Oh yeah, what do you got, Barrett? Give us your games.
So my first game is down in Tampa. Actually, in what's the Bucks Stadium? What is it? Oh
God, the pirate ship, the big pirate ship.
Yeah. So that's my first game. I got BYU at South Florida. You know, so that's my first game.
Can somebody explain why South Florida? Isn't South Florida's campus located in Tampa?
Yes.
Isn't that not South Florida?
Weird. Yeah, that's weird. That's not South Florida.
Anyway, that is
right. And plus, it's on the West Coast. You know, so that's why I kind of messed things up a little bit.
All right. Anyway,
then my next game, I got my next 2 games, I got Temple. You know, for you Temple guys. You know, so I got Lafayette at Temple.
I'll be there
the day before the opening day for the
Eagles.
Wait,
you'll be there?
I'll be there.
Don't you work
Temple football games? Well,
how do you have time? You work every weekend.
He works like a.
I can go to if the game's at noon. I can go.
Yeah, maybe. It's at noon. Yeah.
Okay.
You gonna come up and chill in the box with me, bro?
I will. I'll be your spotter.
I'll come up if you can give me some free food.
They got pretzels.
Ooh.
What?
Pretzels. Good soft
pretzels. Whatever you want to drink.
No, I'm not a soft pretzel guy, man. When I lived in Pittsburgh and then I moved to Philly, I'm not a soft pretzel guy.
I just soft pretzels.
Remember in office in NBC, at least a couple of times a month, somebody would bring in the big box of salt, and they would leave them right at the security desk. You can tell what you wanted.
Yeah,
I'd bypass it 100 times. People would run downstairs, get the soft pretzel, get the mustard. I can't do it, man. I just look at them and say, hey,
You got
more power
bougie,
to you.
you got bougie taste buds. That's all.
Ain't no bougie nothing. I'm just not a
Bougie
soft
taste
pretzel
buds.
guy, bro.
Okay.
Bougie.
Well,
All right, so you go South Florida, BYU, and 2 Temple games out of the chute.
And yep, and then the next game is Temple. They have Rutgers. Rutgers at Temple.
Okay.
This is going to be a pretty good game.
Yeah, Temple's got a new coach. Temple's going to turn it around. It was a mess last year, but they'll be better. They're not going to be great, but they're on the process. They're in the process. They're getting there. At least that's what I'm telling myself. All right. So when we come back, we're going to dive into Barrett. I want to ask you from a player's perspective, what are the advantages, disadvantages of the open practices versus a regular preseason game like we used to see where guys would play? All right. Because all the rage now is the open practice. So we'll talk about that when we get back. And the question is, can the Eagles roster with a lot of talent on paper overcome average quarterback play to be better than they were last year? That's if they get average quarterback play. We'll do that when we get back as well. Don't go anywhere. Derek Gunn, Barrett Brooks, Rob Ellis. We're Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. All right, let's talk about Pro Action Restoration. If you have a home, you have a business, you have a property that you own, if you have experienced fire, water, smoke damage, mold damage, you name it to your property, you're not really sure how to fix it, who to call, they are the people that you call. They're on call. In fact, 24 hours, 7 days a week, are Pro Action Restoration. I've experienced this. I've gone through it. I reached out. It was a Saturday. They got over to my parents' house quickly. They cleaned it up. The crew was amazing. The price was right. It was very reasonable, and I couldn't have been more happy. They are licensed, bonded, fully insured. They've been serving this area for more than 2 decades. Pro Action will work in conjunction with your insurance company as well. Again, it could be water, it could be fire, it could be smoke, could be mold remediation, Pennsylvania, South Jersey, Northern Delaware, you name it. They can handle it. Give them a call, 610-623-3760, 610-623-3760, or online at proactionrestoration.com. That's proactionrestoration.com.